Talkers. What's good? It's your man DJ Playboy back in the building for another one. On this episode, we're going to be talking about Drake, Travis Scott, the Olympics. We're going to sprinkle a little politics in there too. And let's get right to it, man. It's time for Plicker's Spotlight Story. If you know how we do at this time, kick every episode off talking about a big story, maybe a little story, but definitely something that we want to shine a little bit of light on here at the Perfect Talk Podcast. And this one was, something we was all paying attention to. The Olympics captivated the country, captivated the world, man. It's probably the most Olympics that I've watched in a long time in terms of how many games I watched, how much time I spent watching it. And it was interesting. Shout out to the US of A, you know what I'm saying, bringing home the crown with the medal count. But something that really caught my attention was the controversy that went on with the gymnast team. And it involved a former gymnast named MyKayla Skinner. She had come out a few months ago, man, and had a lot to say about the girls that were competing this year. She had spoke about their work ethic. She spoke about the level of talent they had. And let me let y'all hear what she had to say.
Simone, but besides Simone, I feel like the talent and the depth just isn't like what it used to be. The girls just don't have the work ethic. I mean, obviously a lot of girls don't work as hard. The girls just don't have the work ethic. To get to where you need to be in gymnastics, you do have to be, I feel like, a little aggressive and a little intense.
Now, at the time, that was met with some backlash. Even Simone Biles herself posting, not everybody deserves a mic and a platform, causing MyKayla to eventually take that down. But the clip has resurfaced due to the level of success that the women's gymnast team has had at this year's Paris Olympics. Simone Biles, responding to Skinner, captioned a picture of her gold medal teammate saying, "Lack of talent, lazy Olympic champions." Simone Biles, a champion for mental health. We all know Simone Biles has been definitely at the forefront of speaking about the importance of mental health in athletes after her 2021 Olympics appearance, where she had an issue with the twisties and was willing to step out in order to, for her own mental health and physical health. But MyKayla decided to reach out to her old friend and say, "Can you stop? Can you get your people to stop with the bullying?"
And I followed up with a written apology, and I sent individual messages to each of the women on the team. Only Simone had responded, and she told me that she was proud of me. You guys can imagine my surprise last week when I was celebrating our team winning gold, just to see this brought up all over again by a caption on an Instagram post. If Simone truly believes that I called our team lazy and lacking talent, and if that's really how she feels, I am really heartbroken over it. But not just heartbroken because it isn't how I feel or even what I previously said, but heartbroken because Simone's latest post and others that followed it fueled another wave of hateful comments, DMs, articles, and emails. Hate that includes death threats to me, my family, and even my agent. So my family and my friends don't deserve to be caught in a crossfire here. They've done nothing. So to Simone, I am asking you directly and publicly to please put a stop to this. Please ask your followers to stop. You have been an incredible champion.
Now, I 100% agree with MyKayla. Her friends, family, her daughter, her agent definitely shouldn't be having to deal with the backlash of her comments. But MyKayla also has to remember that this is the internet, and you put something out there, and you're going to have to take what people are going to throw back at you. If you could dish it, you got to be able to take it. If you could say something on your platform, you got to take all the smoke that comes with it. Now, obviously, Simone Biles probably could step in and say, "Hey, everybody chill out." But she also didn't sick any dogs on you. This isn't Taylor Swift telling the Swifties to tell Scooter Braun and Scott Borchetta exactly how you feel. However, Simone probably does have the power to sick the dogs off, but she might feel some type of way. MyKayla, you made these comments about your former teammates, people that they thought would at least have their back in terms of not shitting on them in the media, and you broke that trust. You broke that bond, and you got to get what comes with it. Now, it sucks because of cyberbullying, and although I don't think cyberbullying would affect me in that type of way, someone like MyKayla Skinner, I believe is, in her 20s, probably is going to be affected a little bit harder by that, and probably doesn't realize that, she can just shut it off and turn away from it. But at the end of the day, you got to take it. You can't. I'm wholeheartedly, if you're able to dish it, you got to be able to take it. Now, do I think it's corny that people who don't agree with you feel that they got to make your life a living hell? Nah, that's the internet. But the internet is where corny people come to hang out, and corny things are going to occur. So I say all that to say, Simone, this is your moment. Enjoy it. And if you feel it in your heart to come out and want to have MyKayla's back, that'd be very big of you. But I can totally understand why you would not, because I don't think MyKayla had your back. Whether or not she felt that the team wasn't talented, that they were lazy, although that may have been how MyKayla felt, the comments felt like they came more from a place of malice and trying to be hurtful as opposed to an honest critique of the team. And for her to want you to extend that same grace that she didn't have the courtesy to give to the team is a bold ass, is a big ass, Simone. So I'll stay tuned and I'll keep you guys up to date if anything does develop on this. But I highly doubt Simone's going to step up on it. I have a feeling that she's just going to let this whole thing fade away and enjoy her little moment right now, as she should. And MyKayla used this moment as a cautionary tale, as a life lesson, as something to move forward, as something to tell your child. You can't cry victim to the words that you're receiving when you used your words and your voice to hurt others, opinion or not. What it do, y'all? It's your man DJ Playboy. Just interrupting real quick, man. I really appreciate you watching this episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast. But if you're watching on YouTube, please hit that subscribe button. You got to run them numbers up so I can keep running it up. Also, if you're listening to the audio version on the podcast, make sure you leave a review. Let them know how much you love the podcast and, subscribe to the thing. And if you really, really want to support the team, go to www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Get yourself a t-shirt, get yourself a sticker. You can even get yourself a mug, man. The possibilities are endless and the prices are low. Holla at us, baby. Let's get it. And with that being said, we're going to move on to one of my favorite segments over here at the Perfect Talk Podcast, and it's called Have You Heard? I hear headlines. I bring them to the people here at Perfect Talk Podcast, and I'll see if y'all have heard. First up, man, shout out to Drake, man. Fresh off the heels of his highly publicized beef with Kendrick Lamar, the boy is back. Not in the album form, not in the project form, but with something really unique. A leak, some would say. 100 gigs. Now, this was really unique the way that they did it. You know what I mean? A lot of Drake's fans first saw that he was following an Instagram page under the name Plot Twist, which led, many to speculate something might be on the way. Something's going on. Once that account was no longer private, we were introduced to the website 100 gigs for your head top, which had the 100 gigs leak on it, which was, very interesting. There's a lot of photos, videos, behind the scenes footage of Drake. As well as 3 new songs, Blue, Green, Red.
Yeah. Gotta lay down when you make bed. Gotta let some tears just shed. Since we blew up and got green, I gotta leave some of y'all on red.
Housekeeping Knows featuring Lotto.
East Coast girls popping ass and popping pills. West Coast girls do the same but in the hills.
As well as It's Up featuring Young Thug and 21 Savage.
I can't sleep at night with Thug at Cobb County Corrections. I think he did enough reflecting. I think my brother learned his lesson.
Many people noted out that on Kendrick's Not Like Us, he pointed out Drake collaborating or colonizing, however you want to classify it, with Atlanta. And Drake decided, I'm going to keep it 100 and see me still canoodling with my Atlanta rappers, 21 Savage, Young Thug, and of course Big Lotto. And I think all the tracks are bangers. I think all 3 of them are dope. I think the fact that they're like 3 different genres of music, so to speak, 2 of them being rap, but even the 2 rap songs were very far from each other in terms of style of music that they are. And then just hitting us with a whole Afro beats meets reggae meets EDM type style. You know what I mean? I'm all for it. But I think the bigger surprise on the 100 Gigs project was all the content and the footage that we got. You know what I mean? The fact that we got to see Drake in the studio. The fact that we got to see him playing ping pong with Steph Curry. The fact that we got to hear that song March 14th for what seemed like the first time, listening to it on his phone. It's just a lot of behind-the-scenes footage of stuff that you just normally wouldn't see of Drake. And I don't know if Drake just has a pulse on just where culture's at, but I personally don't consume a lot of long-form stuff. If you got something for me to watch and it's about an hour and a half, 2 hours, I might skip it because I'm like, I don't got an hour and a half to just be sitting in one spot. But if you give me little 30-second clips, 45-second clips, I could consume stuff like that. And I think him understanding how media is consumed nowadays, he figured that this might be the better way to do it as opposed to a documentary. And just seeing the stuff on there, seeing Drake see the inside of his airplane for the first time. Seeing Drake rehearsing, seeing Drake in the studio doing reference tracks. I probably am more likely now to watch a Drake documentary than I would have been before because I'm like, all right, they're not pulling no punches. They're really showing you the nitty gritty. They're showing you behind the scenes. So shout out to Drake, keeping his finger on the culture, keeping his ear to the streets, and definitely staying innovative. Even the website itself, just a way to put something out. I see future artists taking the same route. You know what I mean? And going around the streamers and going around the platforms and saying, hey, come check out this website. I got music here. And then doing what Drake eventually did, where he put the 3 songs from 100 gigs on the streaming platforms like Spotify, Tidal, Apple Music. So, you know what I mean? He's still making a buck off of it. So shout out to Drake. Goes to show you, you can't keep a good man down.
They can't keep a good man down.
And however people felt after that beef was probably how they felt before the beef. I don't think anyone's opinion changed on either Kendrick or Drake. And if there's one thing that Drake does is he puts out content. He's going to keep doing that whether y'all like it or not. Next up on Have You Heard? Olympic gold medalist Noah Lyles. Definitely for about I want to say maybe about the past year now, has been in the headlines for beefing with NBA superstars. If you remember, he was wondering why NBA champions were called world champions. And most recently, it seems like he was hating on Anthony Edwards in an interview that he did with Time Magazine. I guess when Adidas was doing their contract negotiations with Noah Lyles, they invited him to a shoe event to announce Anthony Edwards' shoe. And his response was, you want to do what? You want to invite me to an event for a man who has not even been to an NBA Finals in a sport that you don't even care about, and you're giving him a shoe? No disrespect. The man is an amazing athlete. He's having a heck of a year. I love that they saw the insight to give him a shoe because they saw he was going to be big. All I'm asking is, how could you not see that for me? Which, just reeks of hateration of all sorts, you know what I mean? Like, it's true hater energy. And he knew that was going to be in a magazine and come out. So it's not like it was something that was said behind closed doors and then revealed. He wanted that out there. Well, those comments recently resurfaced once Anthony Edwards, now a gold medal Olympian himself, was given a custom pair of gold Adidas, the AE1s, to celebrate his first Olympic medal from Adidas, as well as a party out there in Paris, at which Noah Lyles was notably absent from. That caused Noah's earlier comments made in June to resurface again, and people just saying Noah's a hater. Even the Team USA, after they won their gold, felt the need to tweet, "Are we world champions now?" Obvious stab at Noah Lyles after they won their gold medal game. Match that with Noah Lyles, although bringing home gold this year, not bringing home the gold in the events that he was favored to, and people got a finger to point at him. People want a response. Well, Noah Lyles did step up to the apparent accusations that he was hating on AE, and ran to X and said, "There's a rumor going around that I did not go to the Edwards shoe release because he did not deserve it. This is not the case. He definitely deserves his shoes. He is an amazing player. The problem was finding time based on my prior engagements. Congratulations on becoming an Olympic champion." My question to that is, didn't Noah Lyles test positive for COVID like a day or two before his last event at the Olympics? I don't know if I really want him showing up to any events like that. You know what I mean? If you suffer from COVID, bro, stay your ass home. But the fact that that they brought this up, that they pulled up your article, your quote, is showing that, that brash demeanor, or maybe he's trying to take like a Kanye approach of pay attention to me. But I've seen a lot of people try to take that and not be able to pull it off. And, people really quick to want to throw it in your face when you don't match all that shit talking you was doing. My advice for Noah Lyles is live in your greatness. Let your achievements do the talking, and don't feel the need to have to point out where you think you're better than or where you feel you're not getting the love from. Because if it's truly meant to be, bro, it's going to come your way. But you ain't going to get it by pulling it away from NBA stars or other athletes of any sort, because that shit just looks corny. Have you heard? Kamala Harris has chosen her VP, agreed to a debate with Donald Trump, and actually got ran up on by J.D. Vance's weird ass. Yep. Kamala Harris had a big week, man. She decided that she's going to roll with your guy, Tim Walz, governor of Minnesota, to be her VP. Governor Walz was a former teacher. Believe he has served time in the Army National Guard, as well as being a football coach for high school. He's definitely earned his stripes. And even showed he had a little charisma in his first press conference where he got a little stab off at J.D. Vance and his love for couches.
And I got to tell you, I can't wait to debate the guy. That is if he's willing to get off the couch and show up. So, you see what I did there?
We all know that's an apparent stab at the rumor that J.D. Vance had a little love affair with a couch. Go Google it if you never heard it. Governor Walz, although he looks as old as Joe Biden and Donald Trump put together, he's actually only 60 years old, which is bringing a little bit of youth over there. But, I mean, compared to J.D. Vance, he's obviously older in terms of the VPs. How do I feel about the VP pick? I mean, I've never really been crazy about a VP pick. I think the job of a VP is to not hurt your campaign. And, I mean, when you're going against somebody like J.D. Vance, you pretty much just have to not say nothing stupid and you're going to make the other guy look weird, because J.D. Vance is doing a great job making himself look weird by rolling up on Kamala Harris's airplane, cracking jokes like, I just want to check out my future plane.
This was a rather, shall we say, awkward moment. J.D. Vance approached Kamala Harris's Air Force Two while his plane and her plane were both on the same Wisconsin tarmac yesterday.
Had a little bit of fun. I don't think the vice president waved at me as she drove away, but I'm...
Nah, bro. You don't just run up on no black woman like that. He lucky he ain't get snuffed. And what's going on with the Secret Service? You just letting people pass through, like, supposed to be protecting the VP. You just got this guy and this whole entourage just walking through on the tarmac. I'm about to check out my new plane. Come on, what's going on out here? But that's that type of clown activity that I think we got to get rid of in politics, man. Like, I think that could have went left. Maybe if J.D. Vance had got tackled, he learned you just can't run up on everybody like that, bro. What you think this is? Pointing out how Kamala Harris doesn't do interviews, hasn't spoken to the media since Joe Biden has stepped out. And Kamala's like, I still ain't do no interviews, and I'm going to do interviews when I'm ready. Keep up that clown activity, bro. Also, a debate between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump was agreed upon. It's going to be on ABC, and it's going to air September 10th. So we're going to see how that goes. I don't know if Trump's going to come out looking as good as he did in the last debate he had against Biden. But it's going to be interesting to see. Because although Trump just has a tendency to just keep spewing out lies and keep talking before anybody can say anything else, I have a feeling ABC or Kamala Harris is going to call him out on the BS. But a good move that Trump did was his appearance on Aiden Ross. Popular streamer, if you're not familiar with him, Aiden Ross sat down with Donald Trump. And although many feel like, well, Aiden Ross, he's had Nick Fuentes on his show, who many know as a white supremacist. I feel like that was just a way to kind of, generalize what Aiden Ross does. Whereas more so, I kind of commend Trump for actually making the appearance over there, you know what I mean? Although Kamala Harris hasn't done a lot of interviews, to the contrary, Trump is going to places like Logan Paul's podcast, Aiden Ross's stream, and he's talking to that generation of the youth that does have a voting voice. Sat down with Aiden Ross for about an hour and 20 minutes and talked about his views on immigration, Kamala Harris, AOC, Young Thug, and actually was gifted a Rolex watch and a custom Tesla Cybertruck, sparking questions about possible campaign finance violations. Federal campaign finance laws limit contributions to a candidate's political campaigns to $3,300, and Rolex watches start from $5,000 up to $75,000, probably way more than that. And Cybertrucks start more at about $55,000 plus without a custom wrap job. So imagine with the Trump bleeding their wrap job in it. You know what I mean? It costs a little grip. But I'm sure Trump will find a way around that. Always does. Hey, Trump, if you need somebody to take that Cybertruck off your hand, send it this way. I'll peel that bloody air right off it, dog. Don't worry about it. Send it this way. And fresh off the heels of Trump's appearance on Aiden Ross, Kai Cenat came out saying that he was reached out from people close to Kamala Harris to see what he can do for the campaign. Now, the Harris team has responded saying that they did not reach out to Kai Cenat. And TMZ has reported that Kai Cenat's team had been talking to a third party with loose ties to the Democratic National Convention. The Breakfast Club host Charlamagne the God said that he even spoke to somebody from the Kamala Harris camp that said they never reached out to him. But it seemed like Kai was under the impression that he was. So he had Secret Service in them. So someone was reaching out. Now, was this an obvious play to kind of combat Donald Trump being on Aiden Ross's stream? Yeah, obviously. And it's going to have to get a little bit better than that, because that's not the organic move. It's like, if he goes on Aiden Ross, you can't just run to Kai Cenat, because it don't seem organic, and Kai Cenat's not even interested in politics. But whatever the case may be, y'all got to tighten up, because y'all got Kai over there talking on the stream, making y'all look crazy. And whoever it is that's reaching out to people, gonna have to tighten things up. Because although the Democratic Party does have a little bump in the polls right now, without Kamala Harris probably sitting down and doing a real interview, those numbers might eventually slide. We'll see how things look after the Democratic National Convention. Have you heard Travis Scott arrested in Paris, France? Looks like after he got into a fight with his own security guard, Travis Scott was arrested. During the altercation with his security guard, hotel security tried to break up the fight, was also assaulted, and that led to Travis Scott being arrested. The following day, he was released from police custody without charge, and Paris's prosecutor office said the police custody order for Travis Scott has been lifted and all proceedings against him were terminated because the incident was minor. Now, Travis Scott was out in Paris for the Olympics. He was seen at the United States versus Serbia game. And then news broke about him being arrested. Now, this made probably more headlines because just recently, Travis Scott was arrested in Miami. And this past week, the body cam footage of that arrest came out. And just something that I see from both events, you know, and obviously details are murky on the one that happened in France. But if you're fighting with your own security, combined with what I see on the body cam video in Miami, you might have a problem, Travis Scott. Now, whether it's drugs, whether it's alcohol, I know you were quoted as saying you were drinking in the Miami body cam one. You might need help, bro. And you know what I mean? I say that from a place of you're a talented artist. You know, I hate to see this go left. I hate to see something get messed up, but we already seen you kind of get your one reset with the Astro World incident where people did pass away, and a lot of artists don't bounce back from that, don't get second chances from that. So I'd hate to see you let your blessings get thrown to the wayside because you might have something that you're struggling with. So with that being said, you know, prayers up for Travis Scott. Hopefully, you know what I mean, I don't want to hear about you getting arrested for the rest of the year, bro. Let's make it through 2024 without any more arrests for Travis Scott, and I'll be a happy man, And keep putting out good music, because even the joint you got on Mustard's album, I believe it's a banger, you know what I mean? And Travis Scott's a very talented kid, so I'd hate to see him end up in a situation he cannot bounce back from. And with that being said, I'm about to bounce up out of here. That's another episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast in the books, y'all. Find me on X at DJ Playboy. Find me on Instagram at Plickapeezy. Yep, right here in front of y'all. I know you see it somewhere down here. PLICCAPEEZY. And you can also follow Perfect Talk on Instagram at Perfect Talk Radio. Go check out my website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. I'm rocking the official Perfect Talk t-shirt for everybody out there listening, but you can go get one on the website, www.perfecttalkpodcast.com. Get yourself a DJ Playboy shirt, you get yourself a mug, get yourself a sticker, all that. And of course, you can keep up with every episode of the Perfect Talk Podcast right there. Everything DJ Playboy right there. And I'm up out of here, y'all. Spread love. It's the Brooklyn way. I'm gonna catch you on the next one. Peace. Oh, yeah, shout out to my dude Spec. You know what I'm saying? He's a little under the weather with COVID, so send him your thoughts and prayers, and he gonna be back at it, y'all. We gonna be back at it soon. Peace.